At this point, just close the park. Close Sesame Place, shut it down. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the video that has now gone viral of two little girls getting curved by one of the Sesame Place cast members. I think that's what they call the people who play the characters at Disney World. No idea if it's the same as Sesame Place. Whatever this job is called at Sesame Place, what the person filling it at Sesame Place Philly needs to be called is fired. And I mean yesterday. Wouldn't solve the problem, you know, the big problem of how this type of thing happens in the first place. And sadly will continue to happen in other Sesame Places and Sesame Spaces. Firing that person in the suit is the least that Sesame Place should have done. And they didn't even do that, which tells you everything you need to know. What is up, family? It's your girl, Nappy-Headed Jojoba. Not Nappy, not Jojoba. Nappy-Headed Jojoba. You have to say the whole thing. It's like Belle Biv DeVoe. I'm just popping on here right quick with another one of these quick sip videos about this Sesame Place situation. Unless you're one of my patrons, you won't be seeing this until Wednesday, maybe Thursday. My patrons get videos early, so there have probably been more updates since me filming this. However, if you've been on a social media cleanse the past couple of days, you may not have heard about this video of, as I said at the top, two little girls who were at Sesame Place Philly getting straight up dissed by the Rosita mascot, if that's what it's called, during a parade at the theme park. Jimmy, roll the clip. Just kidding, it's me. I'm the one rolling the clip. Now, I think most of us already know what it is. Undoubtedly, there's been no shortage of dipshits doing all sorts of mental gymnastics to try to explain away and defend what we just saw. The most staunch defenders of racism are always the people who work overtime to deny its very existence. As I said, this went viral over the weekend, and by Sunday, Sesame Place went ahead and issued this sorry-ass sorry. I'll put it up for a few seconds, but you'll have to pause to read if you haven't seen it somewhere else already. Honestly, I've seen some piss-poor corporate apologies before, but this one is a real contender for the top spot. By this point, I'm sure I wasn't the only one who was like, Aval, why you fucking lying? Why are you playing in our faces talking about how the costume is to blame because the performer sometimes finds it difficult to see at lower levels? This is a theme park for children. They're all going to be at lower levels. And the performer, sure enough, didn't miss the other children who were roughly at the same low level immediately before and immediately after snubbing the two little black girls. And then this whole B story about your racist employee not intentionally ignoring the girls because of someone in the crowd who asked Rosita to hold their kid for a photo and that not being allowed, that's not within the park rules. Girl, you just lying to live. This statement really reminds me of when you meet someone who snitches on themselves by making up too many details in their lie that just prove that the math ain't mathin', as the kids say. Do the kids still say that? Never mind. Don't answer that. Ain't nobody want a special meet and greet opportunity with the characters after that. Run me my refund and a settlement for my pain and suffering and my silence and fire that employee. I really hated to see that video because the looks on the girls' faces, I know exactly how they felt. I think some version of this type of thing has happened to an immeasurable number of black children in America at some point or another. The one baby with the pink backpack, crestfallen. Like, just look at her face. Whereas the other baby in the blue backpack wearing the polka dots, I might be reaching, but she almost looks like she knows what just happened as well as us grown folks do already at her young age, which is a whole different type of sad. Anyway, Sesame's pathetic apology, that's where they really fucked up. Because that's when we started getting video after video after video of this same character curving other black children. Quite the smoking gun. Again, any of these people who are still trying to defend the park and this performer with the, well, maybe it's not, but they might have just. After this, if you're on this YouTube channel watching this video, hear me when I say that you must be lost. This place ain't for you. Take that shit back to 4clan or whatever, because we know what this is, and you do too. Then we also have this psycho. I don't even know what character this is, to be honest, but just look at this. So that also started getting shared on Monday, which for me was yesterday at the time I'm filming this. And there are so many things wrong with this one that I don't even Why are you putting your crotch in a child's face? By the way, I don't know where these clips originally came from. I've just been seeing them reposted on a bunch of different pages that I follow without attribution. Some pages which have the nerve to watermark clips that they're reposting as if it's their original material, which is a whole nother issue. Anyway, if you know who to credit for some or all of these original clips, please just leave it in the comments. Also by Monday, which for me is yesterday, Sesame Place issued another statement, and I ain't gonna call it an apology because trash again. Also again, pause to read if you need to because we gotta move. There's been a lot of speculation on the internet about who is actually inside of these costumes, you know, what race the person is, yada. We don't even know if it's the same person inside of the now several clips with the Rosita character dismissing black kids left and right, let alone who the purple perv who knocked that baby to the ground is. But Sesame Place sure does, and they're choosing to protect these people. Do we really need to unpack this any further? These videos really just pissed me off and made me sad for the kids, which is saying a lot because I don't even like kids. But this should not happen to any child. These are just the incidents caught on video that people decided to share in the past couple of days. Imagine how many more times this has happened that we won't ever have receipts for. I don't, and I won't, have kids of my own, but my parents took my brother and I to Sesame Place when I was little, when I was far too little to remember much, so if I got my feelings hurt by some asshat mascot, at least I don't remember in my conscious mind. Anyway, prior to this weekend, because of that personal experience, it might have been the type of place where I would take my little nephew who just turned 3 this past weekend. But now, it's a hell no for me, dog. You got me f***ed up severely if you think I would ever take my black ass to Sesame Place and spend my black ass dollars with a company that has shown us that they truly do not give a f***. Since they couldn't even go the normal corporate route of blaming a racist oopsie on an intern, they're going the complete opposite route. They're defending them with dumb stories and letting them continue to keep their jobs and do this to other black children. Obviously, what people need to do is boycott Sesame Place once and forever. But there's out here continuing to support countless brands and people who have told us plainly that they don't like us, so I don't have too much faith in a united front on that. Canceling a company or a person always comes down to personal accountability. Accountability cannot be enforced on someone else. We talked about this ages ago during one of those many times when DeBebe's mouth got his ass into trouble. Hitting a person, a company, a corporation where it really hurts will always be in the pocket. But too often we surrender that power because people not only like discipline, but memory. We ain't seen people unify and organize like in the Montgomery bus boycott back in 1955, since the Montgomery bus boycott in 1955. So while I would, and I suppose on some level I do, call for a mass boycott of Sesame Place by all black people and comrades, I also know how the denizens of the internet have the recall of a gnat. Sesame Place is banking on this too shall pass, and they're probably right. I will never ever take my nephew or anyone else to Sesame Place, and I will strongly discourage anyone and everyone in my life from ever going to there, because f*** Sesame Place for real. And that's really all I or you can do. That is it for this quick sip. The first one of these that I did about Cletus and Cum Kardashian, which was just last week actually, y'all definitely responded to my call to action to like that video to let me know if y'all wanted more quick sip style content. And the likes on that video are roughly double what I would normally get of a video with comparable views, so message received, quick sips are officially a thing. And if you are still hearing my voice and you have stuck with me all the way to the end, which makes you one of the great ones, why don't you go ahead and tell the class 1 or 2 things that you're loving or that you're just loving about life today, so that we know who the realest ones are who actually watch to the end. For me, myself, personally, I've actually been listening to Kaylee 47's new album, Shape Up, pretty much nonstop since it came out maybe 2 weeks ago. It's giving bars, it's giving bops, it's giving no skip tracks. It's at the point where every time I'm at the gym picking my workout soundtrack, or even just now as I was getting ready, it's like,
well, I pretty much only listen to 47 at this stage in my life, so.
Also gotta give praise to DJ Premiere's new mini album. It's like 5 tracks celebrating 50 years since the birth of hip hop. I mean, it's primo with goats like Nasty Nas, Rhapsody, Joey Badass, need I say more? But that's a wrap on this quick sip. Thanks again to all y'all who hit the like on the last video and on this one to let me know you're feeling this format. And until the next video, just a couple church announcements, and those are to stay safe, stay dangerous, and never trust anyone who's still defending Sesame Place. Bah.
That's some nappy-headed hose there, I'm gonna tell you that now.